Hello everyone, this is Sam. In this second video over the returning Festival of the Four Winds, we're gonna be having a look at the items that the trader was taking on the last time, as well as my own personal expectations of the items they might just be taking this time. We're gonna be speculating quite a bit, and I hope that you guys have already taken some positions on the items I'm gonna be mentioning, otherwise it might just be still time to get in and scrape by. So first we're going to be having a look at what the trader was taking in the last time that the festival was introduced, and then we're going to be looking at some items that I think have potential this year around. What is very important to look at is that the trader is an occasion for our internet to fix the economy. They are going to be wanting to have the trader take in a lot of items that were otherwise way too oversupplied within the current economy. In the good old days, the trader was mostly taking basic crafting materials. We can see ore, we can see wood, we can see leather, and we can see cloth. This is pretty important. Then we can also see that they were taking some festive material as well as blade shards. We have already seen that quite a bit of people invested, for example, in gossamer scraps. The price went up tremendously and the supply went down in an incredible way when the event was announced. However, I personally do not think that investing heavily into these old materials was the best way to apprehend the event. Personally, I think that there was much more potential into taking a proper action on some other materials that are what we call the vendor price. As you can see, we had quite a hike in the price over there on the 18th of July. As I was mentioning earlier, we're going to be having a look at some items that I think have potential to be used by the trader. These items, they've already moved. Some people have already invested in them, and the prices on some of them might not reflect the potential that they once held. So, first of all, we're going to be talking about the Eye of Cormyr. The Eye of Cormyr is at 3 copper on the trading post. The Eye of Cormyr is an item that was oversupplied by Path of Fire. I think that the developers weren't simply aware of how badly they were going to be farmed and how oversupplied it would end up being, in contrast to the demand that could be created for them by creating the new inscriptions and runes. However, there is quite a bit of potential in that item. Because it is oversupplied, it is a good target for Internet to want to remove from the economy. The only issue that I see within this item is that it does not have a vendor value. A vendor value is particularly important for items that you will want to get rid of, because if they do not have a vendor value, it means that you are going to have to sell them on the trading post. You will have to list them and you are going to be facing the listing cooldown. This is quite a bit of an issue, but if you are very diligent in your listing, you will most likely manage to overcome it. Personally, I would never have gone for the Eyes of Cormyr because I would only ever buy items that are vendorable. Might be losing a few silver per stack, but I do not care because I just don't want to have them clutter my inventory forever. We're going to be talking about cores. Cores are quite oversupplied at the moment. You're going to be telling me, but Sam, the charge core, which could make them into lodestone, has been profitable for quite a while. This is good money. And I'm going to be telling to you, yeah, that actually worked. However, if you look at the other cores, most of them have been extremely oversupplied. The trading post value that they have is not that far from their vendor value. And they are available in pretty amazing quantities on the trading post. As you can see, 1 million supply, and that is excluding recent buyouts. I think that some people have identified that cores held quite a bit of potential for this event and might have invested into them. It could be an idea. If you haven't taken a position yet, it could be your idea, and in the worst case, you can still use them or sell them back. Next, we're going to be talking about a personal favorite, the Barbed Thorn. Available for 21 copper on the trading post, a price very close to the vendor value. Once again, the Barbed Thorn doesn't have that many uses. You can use it to change the stats on various infusions, and it as mostly that one use as of lately. However, the barbed thorn is also one item that is currently oversupplied and thus makes it a very good target for us. We have a supply of 4 million, excluding the recent buyouts, and as such, it is quite a good item for people to invest in. You can say that there are some buy orders at 16 copper. We said that the vendor value was at 13 copper. As you can see, you wouldn't be losing that much over a stack. So this is quite a good item, and if you are unsure what to go for, you could be opting for this one. Similarly, the leaf fossil works exactly the same way as the barbed thorn. It is used to change stats on infusions, and it is used in some recipes in general. However, what interests us the most, just like before, is the fact that the vendor value is quite low and that the trading post value is relatively close to that one as well. As we said, oversupplied as well, 6 million available despite the recent buyouts, and the orders are quite close to the vendor value once again, which puts it as a top contender on my list of items that could be removed from the economy by the trader of the Festival of the Four Winds. We now move on to the Mortem Lodestones, which has also been a favorite of mine. So the Mortem Lodestone is most definitely one of the items that have been oversupplied in the economy and completely underused. The only thing that I use my Mortem Lodestones for is to make superior sieges of agility, and God knows that not that many people are using them. Only some specific chrono builds would ever be using them, and as such, the Mortem Lodestones have fallen down when it comes to the demand. If we have a look at GW2 BLTC, you're gonna see exactly what I mean, but first we're gonna check that the vendor value is at 63 copper. You can put buy orders relatively close to the vendor value, and you can confirm that the supply is still relatively high on this item, which puts it in quite a good spot for removal from the economy, but at a slower pace. What I mean by slower pace is that people can still go for that one, but wouldn't make that huge an investment into them. When we looked at the trader originally, there was always one of the items that was in a very small quantity, and in my opinion, the Mortem Lodestone could fit that specific niche. We're now going to be having a look at my last two contenders, but first I must read the page of one of them. One of the toppest contenders ever is the Resonating Sliver. The Resonating Sliver has been simply oversupplied. At the start, it was actually undersupplied because we needed them to craft scribe stuff, we needed them for guild hall upgrades, we needed them for quite a bit of elements. However, they weren't supplied enough, they were tied to the guild missions if I remember correctly, and as such we were in quite a bit of issues when it came to having enough of them to kickstart scribing on your guild hall. Then a fix was made by Ironet for them, and we were simply swarmed by the Resonating Slivers. Having a look at GW2BLTC.com, we can still see that it is one of the most supplied items ever, and this is quite a bit of an issue. We're talking 7.7 million left when 3.2 million have been bought recently. This is simply crazy. I can already tell that quite a bit of people have had the same idea as me and have invested into them. From 11 million down to 7.7 million, we have seen the amount of cores diminish greatly. And as you can see, it was barely the wall breaking. We still have quite a bit of listing until the prices start going up. And we still have an incredible amount of buy orders before anything else happens. However, with buy orders and minimum selling price being this close to a vendor price of 3 copper, investing in Resonating Slivers is most definitely one of the safest plans you could ever have for this new Festival of the Four Winds. Last but not least, we're going to be having a look at the Globes of Ectoplasm. The Globes of Ectoplasm are one of the items that are the furthest away from their vendor value. And for this I am sorry, this is not an item that you can safe invest in with your eyes closed. This is not the type of item we're talking about. The price of 14 silver is actually a little bit higher than the dip we last saw, which was at 12 silver, And if we're having a look at GW2BLTC.com, the globes of ectoplasm are oversupplied for what they should be. The globes of ectoplasms have also been used for a very long time as a way to measure the health of the GW2 economy by traders. And if you have a look at how they've been looking since the start of the game, you can see that the price has been dwindling down while the availability of them has been going up tremendously. This is quite a bit of an issue because it proves that there is a discrepancy between the amount that people farm and the amount that people use, and it's not something you want in the economy. As such, I think that the globes of ectoplasms are a good candidate for removal from the economy by the trader of the Festival of the Four Winds. Then again, these are all my personal assumptions. These are all based on data that we can see up to July 2K16. This is data that is most definitely interpreted through my own views and that might not reflect the actual situation. However, I do believe that what I am saying right now is quite logical and does hold quite a bit of potential. The worst thing that would happen would be for Ironet to keep the original list of the trader, which also doesn't reflect the current economy and the current price of these individual items at all. Once again, this is what we can expect to have at the moment, for sure, on the list of the items offered, but there would be a huge potential for the items that I described earlier to make it to that list. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this, and I urge you to stay for the second part of the video, in which I'm going to be unveiling who has won the 800 gems giveaway. We're going to be heading on to random.org to make sure that we have one very good roll, and we're also going to be using an Excel file that I got myself from the Google form in order to make sure that everyone has been given a number for each of their own individual participation and then some extras for the Patreon. So now we're gonna be having a look again at random.org. We said that we had exactly 327 entries, and as such we're gonna be doing a roll for 327. And now we're gonna be seeing who exactly is the winner of the 800 gems giveaway. And the winner is 203. Let's have a look at this. 203 Serafina.6507. Congratulations, you have won 800 gems. Bravo. Now, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, that you have enjoyed the lengthy analysis that I did of the materials and their potential, and I hope that you have stayed for the role of the winner of the 800 gems. If possible, I will be doing a stream to cover the opening of the Festival of the Four Winds. I do not know when the patch will hit on our EU times, but I will be doing my best to cover it and offer you guys some very quick analysis of the current situation. You have also seen that on the Excel file that I was looking at to draw a winner for the giveaway, I was also looking at all the comments that you guys have left on the Google form telling me what you were expecting from the channel and what you were expecting in matters of content. I will be taking my time to read through all of this and draw out a line for the future of the channel and what content should be made right now and in the mid-term to long-term. Once again, hope you guys have had an amazingly good time, and I wish every single one of you some happy trading and to get rich.